On the 2nd of July, 1996, the question of whether humanity is alone in the universe was answered. Over dozens of cities, enormous spacecraft emerged from vast atmospheric plumes of smoke. Within 24 hours, millions had been killed, and the complete extermination of humanity was just days away. What they called themselves was unknown, but to the few survivors of the countless societies they had destroyed, they were known as the Harvesters. Though little can be verified of the Harvesters' internal governance and culture, their relationship with other species suggests that they exist as nomadic travelers. Their entire civilization seemed to live entirely aboard gigantic starships. The largest of these are equipped with agricultural sectors, industrial bases, and all the civic and military infrastructure necessary for the conquest of target worlds. These conquests are undertaken without any attempt at peacefully coexisting with the indigenous populations. Instead, the Harvesters destroy any local resistance and strip mine every available resource before moving on. Planetary cores are supposedly vital within the process, necessary to power the largest of the Harvesters' vessels. A neural connection between individual Harvesters and some kind of telepathy indicate the presence of an overarching hive mind. This allows the entire race to exist in a state of eusociality, in which a sophisticated division of labor has created specialized behavioral groups. At the top of this caste system are the queens, from which this hive mind either emanates or resonates most strongly. Enormous in size, these queens display a will and consciousness not typically seen in lower drones. Laborers and soldiers form the lower ranks of this hierarchy, though how many other distinct tiers separate them from the queens is unknown. The lower forms of Harvester life, that ostensibly make up the majority of their species, have a similar tolerance for most environmental conditions as humans, and may in fact be physically fragile by comparison. The average Harvester stands between 3 to 4 feet tall, vaguely humanoid, but with an enlarged head and underdeveloped limbs. They lack any means of vocal communication, relying entirely on their telepathy instead. In some cases, they have been used to telepathically assault other beings, utilizing them as literal mouthpieces when communicating with non-telepathic species. Ideas and images can be sometimes projected into another life form's mind, creating a deeper method of communication, but one that can be fatal to the affected mind. To make up for their physical imbalances, most Harvesters fully encase themselves within large biomechanical suits. These significantly increase both their strength and endurance, and are equipped with numerous grasping tentacles that might be used both as tools or weapons. Even within these suits, however, the Harvesters are not immune from physical blows or gunfire. These biomechanical suits only represent the barest edge of Harvester technology. They have mastered the construction and operation of enormous interstellar spacecraft, faster-than-light travel, and directed energy weapons and deflection. Many of their devices and infrastructure is grown rather than manufactured, resulting in an otherworldly, organic appearance. Their overwhelming superiority over the other civilizations of the galaxy, however, has reduced the need for innovation, creating the conditions for technological stagnation. No major new discoveries or advancements are believed to have been made within Harvester society in many decades, and perhaps even centuries. It is the Harvesters' military apparatus, above all, that had laid the groundwork for their superiority. This is expressed in their primary elements. The first are their motherships, the enormous spacecraft used to deploy smaller vessels, and on which the main host of their civilization is based. The second are the city destroyers, deployed to a planetary surface to eradicate local population centers and sites of resistance. Finally, there are the attackers, small fighter interceptors used to protect the preceding two elements. Harvester doctrine typically involves deeply coordinated, planet-wide strikes. Potential targets for invasion will be monitored for decades, their defenses thoroughly researched, and the appropriate amount of forces necessary to destroy those defenses mobilized. Once in orbit, the target species' uncertainty towards the Harvester's intentions will be exploited. At a pre-planned moment, every destroyer will open fire simultaneously, initiating a war of genocide that will continue until the planet's population has been eradicated. A ground invasion will follow, destroying any last centers of resistance and securing vital resources necessary for the harvester population. For thousands of years, the harvesters have conducted these campaigns across the galaxy, annihilating an untold number of civilizations. To date, the only prolonged resistance they have encountered has come from a small coalition of alien survivors and the United Nations of Earth. Contact with the latter has resulted in 2 decisive military defeats for the harvesters, most notably during the War of 1996, when a mothership sent to eradicate humanity was completely destroyed. A subsequent invasion 20 years later was similarly thwarted and put humanity into contact with the coalition of similarly targeted species. With mankind's unusual tenacity in the face of overwhelming odds, and the coalition's technological sophistication, has been created a chance, however unlikely, that the harvester's dominion over the galaxy might finally be over.
The Templin Institute investigates the nations, factions, and organizations of alternate worlds. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to join the Templin Institute, consider pledging to our Patreon page. Along with increased security access, you'll be able to vote in polls to determine future topics, get custom wallpaper every week, and receive some other exclusive rewards.